Hello folks, welcome back for the last time today to the Tournament of Legends 2 North American Qualifier number 3 stream. My name is Blue, joined today by Cyrif, and we're heading into our last match of the day. We just found out the two teams that have qualified, and as such, they are going to be moving on to the grand finals of ToL at the end of August. Once again, those teams are outplayed by Children and Apex, but we're now going to figure out who's going to get third and fourth place for the day, and that match will end up being between Sharks with Lasers as well as Carry Squad.
That's right. Now, Sharks and Lasers and Carry Squad, we both saw them take on some heavy titans. Apex Prime, and outplayed by Children, some very, very skilled teams here. So we'll have to see if they've taken anything from those teams. So Sharks with Lasers, though, we've seen play from time to time. But Carry Squad, again, is our first-time squad here today.
Mm-hmm. They did very well against the teams such as Outplayed by Children. To be honest, like again, I was not expecting them to do that well versus Outplayed by Children for them being the team that they are. So that was actually very surprising. So I'm actually pretty interested to see how they do versus this team specifically, as I think they'll have obviously a much better chance taking on these guys, and they may actually be able to take the set, to be completely honest.
Well, let's find out, man. Let's get these guys all up and ready. Of course, on the red side, you guys will recognize your team Sharks with Lasers as Ferox, Bacon Mon, Laser Lord, Rantev, and Moobs. On the other side, we're going to see Shadow Shooter, Polonium 2, Vixie, Puma's little sister, and Sly the Sly.
And once again, guys, just to clear something up in the map chat really quickly. But anyway, with these guys in the map and readied up, we are once again on a different map rotation here for our last set of the day. The third place game is going to start off on Legacy of the Qualifier. We're going to jump over to the Battle of Kylo, and then for the third map, if it is needed, we'll be heading over to Temple of the Silent Storm. Before we get started, very quickly, going to take a look at the compositions here. First off, Ferox starting off on Sharks with Lasers, again playing that Shatter Mesmer build, very high burst but very squishy, so watch out for that, as he's going to be a very damage-focused target. Soon. And they did it. Cyrif, you overstepped my authority.
Sorry, man.
You overstepped my authority in the map chat. I specifically told them not to ready up so we could go over the builds. And you told them to ready up. And now I can't reset it because you told them to do it.
That's right. Because, listen, we're going to play the game. We're going to do the things. These builds we've talked about at length before, and I think that it's more important to show the viewers how the builds work and then go over them if we need to do so. I'm watching the splits, though, as the Warriors, or Rantev, on the red side is going towards the Quarry, and on the opposite side, Blue, Shadow Shooter. Let's look at what's going on over here. It looked on the map, it looks like he's outside the bounce for a second, but he will grab the waterfall, and everyone else will go towards mid.
Yep, big, again, fairly standard opening splits here. Nobody doing anything too out of the ordinary. Both teams heading into mid. Keep in mind the obvious things here, once again, is the fact that Sharks with Lasers got that Guardian on their side. They're going to be able to keep this fight going for a lot longer. They're going to have that consistent guy that's able to stomp and keep their players up and rolling here, as Blue Team is lacking that player pretty heavily, which means that, again, we are going to look at a pretty hefty advantage here for Sharks with Lasers.
That's right, man. And with this advantage going forward, it's going to be sort of hard for this team fight for Blue. As I say that, though, we're going to see Bacon Mon going down to the blue side. It looks like he's trying to get some res off from Laser Lord, who is stealthed up right next to him.
And he looks like he should actually be able to get him back up there. Sorry, just go ahead and continue. I'm just taking stairs.
Or don't worry about it, man. So we're looking at right outside the blue, the middle point here, if I'm not mistaken. Bacon Mon rather gets feared into the wall there. He looks like he's gonna be chased by Polonium here, trying to get out of there. The lightning field will catch off Polonium though as he goes forward. The rest of the fight, as we continue, seems to be pretty spread out across the point. You can see all of these bodies not really together. No, of course, as I say that though, Ferox goes down and Moobs goes over to res his friend here. We're going to see Polonium trying to drop some Condi Cleave probably in a very close future. Shadow Shooter is over here as well, but Moobs gets up with his teammate here. And Red Team is doing a great job on the side points as well, Blue, as Puma's little sister is just now getting their home point off. and Vixie and Slide the Sly are having to deal with Laser Lord over on Quarry.
And then meanwhile, heading over to Quarry to check out what is heading on. Sly obviously being the on-point pressure here. Vixie just kind of playing the Thief Hunter role, trying to find Laser Lord and knock him out of play, but having a little bit of trouble doing so here. Trying to port back and forth here, but Vixie, regardless, should be able to piece out of here with no issue whatsoever. And unfortunately, this will force Laser Lord to get himself on point and go up against this Eviscerate build, which he's just not going to have a good time going up against that at all here. Sly should have no trouble taking this matchup and recapturing the point. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Laser Lord just bails out of here.
Yeah, man. Will he? Yeah,
he may, there's no real reason for him to stick around. That's the issue. If he stays there, he's just going to be wasting his time because of the fact that we do have the Warrior running with the Soldier's Amulet. It's going to take him way too long to actually make an effective enough push to kill him, and he's better off just heading towards mid and trying to kill a target there.
Yeah, and looks like Puma's little sister gets stomped out, and red team will go ahead and probably grab up the middle point before. Oh, Vixie is not going to get on. There it is. Gets on before the cap. There's going to be just enough time to keep them in the running here, and the side points have been entirely flipped. Blue has grabbed up both of them. Of course, as I say that,
there's a lot of back and forth capping going on here right now. Both the teams. This game kind of started under weird circumstances, so both teams are kind of frazzled at the moment, trying to get themselves together. But I think everything's starting to solidify right now, and I think we're going to be looking at Sharks as the front runner here at the start of this game.
That's right. I mean, they're up about 20 points right now. It can expand, it can go the other way at this much time on the map here. Laser Lord is sort of disengaging over on the the waterfall rather, and then re-engaging, able to, well, that was actually pretty clutch right there, able to get out, heal up when he needs to. Seal's about to actually come off cooldown. Here comes a lot of evade, and he's going to be just fine. SR comes out as well here. And this team fight is just starting over Waterfall. Everyone's sort of coming in here.
Everybody's diving in here. We did see Sharks getting full control of mid, so they've got that. They are going to leave it open, which is a pretty big risk, especially considering that I believe 2 players from the blue team are over at the red team's home node here at the moment. So they are going to kind of be forced to rapidly portal back there. But a nice clutch portal comes out there from Ferox and allows them to get back just as we were actually seeing the blue team Thief re-enter that point as well.
That's right. Now Slide the Sly looks to be going, have a lot of trouble with Laser Lord coming forward. He just finished a 1v1 versus Rantev. We'll have to see if he can survive through another one against Lord. He actually looks like he might, but as I say that, the spike might be coming soon. There it is. He's going to stomp it from above.
Very nice, and he gets the Shadow Step Stomp off there too, but he's kind of forced to do that, to be honest here. As Vixie, he had to know Vixie was on his way, and he's got to be careful there. He cannot leave that corpse on the ground, as again, with Vixie in play, Vixie can jump around just as much as he can, and he could more than likely have gotten that res off onto Sly, so he had to be very careful with that just so he could get the even 1v1, and unfortunately, as a lot of SD versus SD Thief duels do end up going, Laser Lord screws up the opportunity, does not have his dodges up and running at the appropriate time, and as such, Vixie will actually come out on top there, save the cap at the quarry and allow his team to take control of that. And they actually lost control of middle here too now as well. So with that said, Carry Squad is actually really getting themselves back on the map, and not only on the map, but in the lead too. Yeah,
they're actually able to take it. Looks like we're going to be seeing Carry Squad moving forward with the point gap, and it's just steadily growing. With this 2v2 here on Quarry, we are seeing the Sharks with Lasers struggling to get the damage done on Vixie and Slide the Sly. But as I say this, is actually Ferox leaves the fight to sort of heal up or jump on mid or something, but he's gonna let Vixie and Slide the Sly have Quarry.
Well, yeah, over there is not something where he wants to be completely honest. The Thief is just gonna run circles around Ferox all day long, so you could just see this here too. There's the SD versus Mesmer matchup. I mean, the Thief gets the advantage 100% of the time, so there's literally no reason for him to be in that fight. It was better for him to try and get back to mid and support there, where they already had an active team fight going.
That's right. So looking, it looks like Laser Lord's going to be able to take a 1v1 versus Shadow Shooter on the waterfall. With that, also, we're going to see, okay, the massive team fight in the mid. Slide the Sly, Puma's little sister, Vixie, and now Polonium joining. SR comes out. Mark's coming up from the side here. Lots of Connie jumping. We would not be surprised to see if, yep, there's the Plague Res on to Puma's little sister. Polonium able to come in with that as well. Looks going. Polonium able to get, look at the amount of Connies on the red team here. Ferox being feared off in the corner as well. Polonium though has got to watch out. He's going to be out of Death Shroud form in a very just a second. And oh no, Puma's little sister able to get up. thanks to Vixie's clutch res there.
He's not going to be up for long, though, to be honest here. Rantev following him left and right with Eviscerate. Second time takes him down with that here. But we do have the Staff Ellie Cleave coming into play over here, too. Cause a little bit of trouble here for the members of the blue team, but they managed to scatter out of the way of that. Regardless, however, Sharks is going to take full control of middle now, and they will start to expand onto other points. They have to start doing this quickly, though, because, again, blue team has also moved away. They've got Shadow Shooter sitting over there towards their home node, and that's a pretty safe bet to have him here. And the majority of the kind of team fight force for Carry Squad is already over here towards the core, which means they're going to easily be able to transfer their guys over there and keep a fight going. So red team needs to move very quickly, very efficiently, or we're still going to be looking at a pretty big gap here held by Carry Squad.
Yeah, I'm watching this fight over here between mid and Quarry. Vixie goes down to Lord, moves, and Baconmon kind of switching position. Ferox joining moves over towards Quarry. We're going to see a lot of pressure going on at this point in just a second here. A lot of AoE. Looks like all the symbols are down from the Guardian over here, and power coming through as well. That extra healing is going to be just enough to keep them in the lead and enough to keep their guys up to grab Polonium and drop into the downstage. Stomp does come through. Now Shadow Shooter and Sly are the ones left to deal with moves. Baconmon and Ferox. They might actually choose to reallocate the people here very soon as they are trying to put the pressure on and come back. They're down about 100 points now.
Shadow Shooter as well actually transferred over here, and this is going to be some good support coming into play, especially with Sly getting very low, the Spirit of Nature being brought out into play, but unfortunately, as you're going to see, it's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Sly, if he's going to go down, needs to die soon, and no, that Spirit is unfortunately going to be wasted, but still, nonetheless, having the Spirit in play here is going to be a pretty big boost for the blue team. They're still, technically speaking, in a 2v3. It's just now evened out to a 3v3 with Vixie coming into play here, but that may stop very shortly if they don't save Sly. Thankfully, however, they're able to do that. Thanks to an SR there, and thanks to a lack of Corpse Sleeve on the side of Sharks, Sly gets back up, and this fight is going to stay stalemated for that much longer.
Yeah, this kind of works out in the favor of Carry Squad here. They need that clock to tick down. They're going to keep this lead with that, but now Ferox actually able to get back up and back into the fight here. Might turn the tide of this Quarry fight, Blue.
And indeed, as we're seeing here, here's the thing, is this is still a very even fight. You've still got kind of the same formula on both sides of the fence here. It really comes down to who gets that first stomp off. Shadow Shooter goes down again here, but at the same time, Ferox is also down. Thankfully, however, moves able to pierce through there and get that stomp off onto Shadow Shooter.
Yeah. Absolutely. It looks like Ferox is going to take advantage of that rally once again, able to get some damage at long range to Vixie as well, and he's going to will this transition well into the mid fight is what the question really is.
It's actually it's somewhat surprising to see how quickly it transferred into the mid fight. Everybody just rushed over here to try and change that up all of a sudden too. But Vixie getting caught from behind there by Laser Lord, he's going to get knocked out, and again now his is going to be off the map, and that'll give Red Team the mobility advantage for the next 30 seconds or so.
That's right, and they can totally capitalize on this if they want. They need to snowball. Ferox does go down, moves there for the heal. We'll be able to grab him up there. So these guys are going to be just fine. They're going to have Baconmon cap up. I think they're going to begin to start stabilizing as we push forward here, but the 390 mark has been hit by Carry Squad. And if they don't put on additional pressure, they can't just sit here on a 2-cap and be happy with what they've got. They have to put pressure where Carry Squad is vulnerable, where they aren't.
And they're putting in, specifically Carry Squad is trying to push some pressure over here towards mid now, which again, don't fully agree with that. They've only got the LA towards mid. If this is a bait play, I definitely agree with it. Like, again, you can see that they actually managed to cut off Laser Lord there pretty efficiently. But, again, they're going to have to do some tricky stuff here. An attempt on Laser Lord is still coming off. This is going to be a pretty good opportunity to try and get some Corpse Sleeve, and they do it. Ferox as well takes the bait. He goes into the downstate due to the huge Corpse Sleeve, so he'll be out of play pretty much here, unless that Laser Lord... No, actually, very good... I'm so very surprised that both those reses went off, to be completely honest. Laser Lord was completely in blue team territory. He should have gone down. Same thing for Ferox when he got knocked out, but for some reason they managed to get those reses through, so they're going to keep on trucking. And now blue team, after using all of those damage cooldowns to try and knock them out, is going to be forced into a team fight on middle and legacy nonetheless, where it's just going to be a long drawn out fight that Sharks will end up taking an advantage from due to just the length of the fight here.
That's right. With the amount of kills they might rack up here, they may be able to to bolster their lead. I just watched Laser Lord get basket. He will disengage here, so he will be out of the fight for a little bit. But oh no, check out the Lord right now. Shooter is actually trying to go solo it.
He's gonna have, it's gonna take him quite some time to do this, to be honest. So yeah, Bacon Mon's gonna catch on to that, no issue whatsoever. He's now gonna have to re-engage this, and yeah, this Lord push is not gonna be going far whatsoever. There's nothing really he can do to make sure that he kills this, and we don't really see anyone else from the blue team coming in either.
Yeah, and actually, we're seeing the entire blue team push to Quarry. Which is incredibly interesting.
This could be in an attempt, yeah, this could be in an attempt to transfer over here. Obviously, again, the decap is a pretty big reason for this too, but this could be in an attempt to kind of go for a fake, like, kind of push, but then suddenly switch it to a Lord play. I would not be surprised at all if we saw Vixie and Puma suddenly rush into the base to try and kill the Lord. If Shadow Shooter had not gotten engaged on, I think they would have immediately done this transfer, but now that Shadow Shooter's been knocked out, it's going to put a little bit of a hindrance on it, but yep, here we go, now they're doing it. Sly as well as Vixie rotating. They're going to have to take the long way, and this is actually might lead them to be seen by Ferox and Laser Lord, but nope, doesn't get seen by them. They're going to rush in here. Keep in mind, too, that they've actually got the advantage here, so I'm not entirely sure if this was even necessary, as they're going to lose the cap here now. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Red team can definitely still get the point comeback. Back over here, too, Red team's on the path to win Quarry, so they took a huge risk. They're going to put all their cards on the Lord when they could have just turtled the home node. If they don't kill this Lord, then they lose.
This is the all-in of all time, man. Like, Vixie and Sly need to put this.
The thing is, though, is that there's no resistance from Sharks at all. They're gonna get it. There's no Sharks didn't do anything to try and stop it, so that Lord will go down without any issues whatsoever. Blue team carry squad is gonna take game 1. Very well played. Well indeed. I see your banner has a. I just went back to the camera screen.
Oh no! Whatever, it's gaff tape. I just moved to this room, guys, so I'm still getting used to the streaming setup I've been had.
I didn't even know that was there. Sorry.
It's all right. It doesn't really matter that much, but I'll be sure. Like, I've yet to invest in hooks.
It's there.
But here, let's actually take a look at it. If you are ever in the need of hanging a banner, what you should not do is this. Don't do that. It's actually really terrible for your walls, and it just doesn't work. But I need to say some hooks.
So anyway, let's get back on topic here. Enough about gaff tape. As we go into the second game now, we will be obviously on the Battle of Kylo. This is the first time we're going to see it today, possibly the only time we are going to see it today. But after a very close game here, Sire, what are your predictions? We haven't talked about your predictions too much today. Who do you think is going to come out on top here?
I like what we saw from Sharks. They got careless at the end there with the Lord. But given the chance, we will. Wait, hold on. Okay, for a second, I was really confused. I thought teams were switched rather. Nope. But I think that Sharks with Lasers did a really great job last game. They got a little sloppy, and that's how they threw it. Carry squad, given the chance, they're going to take that victory. They're going to take the W if you get sloppy. So assuming the Sharks with Lasers on their head want to win, they're gonna and actually put the effort in that they need to. They can totally take this without as much difficulty as the last game, I would say.
Hold on one second.
It's all right.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. If you want to explain them, I'm gonna open the big map. If you want to try, actually, I can't open the big map, but just go ahead and go over the map first a little bit. Just trying to take care of something in the map chat at the moment.
Yeah, so it looks like when you.
The match starts.
Oh,
soon.
the match started. Okay, good. I was trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. But as we continue, let's talk about Kylo. So Kylo is a map that we are seeing for the first time today, right here, right now. Secondary mechanic is, of course, the trebuchet. You can hit any point on the map pretty much with this treb. It takes 6 seconds to hit the far points and 3 seconds to hit the middle once you go ahead and let that loose. I'm watching Ferox now from the red side, going to go ahead and drop the first shots of the treb into the middle point, which is Clock Tower.
And once again, as we check out what is actually going to be fighting in Clock Tower over here, you've got Puma's little sister again. Puma's little sister actually does have a slight CC advantage in play here that will screw up moves a little bit and possibly force some early pops of the stability. You can already see that both of those shots have been used, and a good corruption comes out here too. Oh no, look, blue team's going to get Clock Tower, to be honest here. Huge Connie spike on the laser moves, forcing him to pop all his cooldowns, and without any other support, he may go down over the next few seconds. Thankfully, however, we do see some support coming in from Ferox. That'll even things up, and they're just barely going to be able to save move, but had those rotations not been there in time, that would have been easily a very early cap at Clock Tower for Carry Squad.
That's right, man. I mean, with this, we're seeing Laser Lord now put some aggression over onto Shadow Shooter. Beer goes off actually onto him, but I think that we're going to see Sharks with Lasers take a commanding lead. As I was saying in the beginning with my prediction, I think that Sharks with Lasers are really going to step out and try and win this as hard as they can. Slide the Sly, however, able to sneak past and get a windmill cap.
Meanwhile, over here at the windmill itself, you can see that Sly will be getting that windmill cap, as you just said. Rantav will now come over, though, and try to stop that. Keep in mind, again, here, that Rantav and Sly both running pretty much the exact same build here. So a lot of this will end up coming down to who eats the first and second eviscerates here, and who actually ends up getting the better damage spikes off. But once again, here, with Ferox coming into play, that'll change things up, as the 2v1 will throw the obvious advantage over here towards the red team.
That's right, but of course the two cap is still in full effect, Blue. The lead will be lost.
That'll be stopping very soon, however, that 2 cap, as we're seeing here at the moment here. Sharks will be getting that back in just a second.
Ranstev will grab this a second he can, get a full stomp through on Sly. But oh no, here comes Puma.
Oh!
Actually hammers him away.
Puma with the swing, staggering blow, knocks him back here. Rantav as well as Laser, though, coming in, trying to get a lot of cleave going on to Sly at the moment. Puma's, I believe, used Endure Pain and pretty much everything to get it back up, but no. Earthshaker Connect's going to try to go for the res again. He cannot get this res, though. This is just so much cleave, and I think Puma's may go down as well. So many cooldowns wasted here and so much damage from Sharks, and in the end it all amounted to nothing for Carry Squad. So unfortunate.
Oh man, in the end it didn't even matter. Puma's little sis are gonna get stomped out by Rantiv, and the decap will go through. But let's check out what's going over on Clock Tower, Blue, as Polonium taking out Ferox, and we're actually seeing the red forces being routed away from this. Sharks with Lasers being forced off that middle point. Now they're only going to have the single cap again, so the nice rotations are coming out of Carry Squad right now.
Yeah. Again, Carry Squad doing an excellent job at just, like, it's basically the game here. They're just rotating over to where they need to be. They're always in the right spots, making good plays where there's bad, making good plays wherever they don't have bad. Wow, I'm saying the most basic things right now. But anyway, they're doing really good with their rotations. Again, immediately countering out anything else that Sharks and Lasers is trying to do, and it's given them such a huge advantage here in this game so far.
That's all right, man. We're going to see this advantage, I guess, widen, but the team fights have now spread out across the 2 points here. And I think that has been working out in the favor of Carry Squad. But if Sharks with Lasers forces a 3-point skirmishes or 1v1s, will that be enough for them to start taking these?
I don't really know, to be honest here. Again, you gotta keep in mind the fact that Sharks, with the Guardian, with the general comp, they're a lot more focused on staying as a single unit and fighting together. Splitting to side node fights is not something they're gonna be able to do too well here, so if they do that, I really don't think it's gonna work to their benefit. And unfortunately, with them having not so good control over the Clock Tower, that has put a huge hindrance on Sharks here at the moment, is really gonna allow Carry Squad to rocket ahead in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think one of the problems is they are set up to do well together as a unit.
The unfortunate thing is that, again, they lost this initial mid-fight. They lost their Treb as well. Blue team still has the Treb, but they've just been completely, unneeding of using it here at this moment. But even if things start to go sour here in mid, they can send Vixie right over that Treb and start using that. And Vixie, even though his Vixie doesn't need to use it right now, Vixie as well is doing an excellent job at back caps. He's done that multiple times so far. Just tried to do it again, but unfortunately missed it. But once more, he'll just be able to rotate right back over here into mid, but things might be going a little bit sour for his team, and hopefully try to turn the tides towards his team's favor.
So, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, Blue, so correct me if I am, this went well for Sharks with Lasers because they came in at the same time. I was watching the other mid-fights, and they just trickled in. They weren't able to be on the point at the same time or be near each other.
It's definitely a big part of the reason there. They all came in as a singular unit. They all kind of surprised the rest of Carry Squad there, and because of that, they were able to make the team fight go much, much faster and swing it and make it end in their favor that much quicker too. That was the big important thing. Now, unfortunately, again, just due to the fact that we did see Vixie doing work a little bit better here, Vixie was able to come over here and I believe steal away the mansion once more. We didn't see him going off of that because I think he wanted to jump on this trebuchet, but we've now seen other guys take that mantle here as well. So they lost one cap, but they got control of middle, and the cap they lost was far point, so that's not the worst thing in the world to lose. As long as they can hold on to mid, things are still going pretty alright for them.
They look to be able to do so with two members of their team now. Shadow Shooter, he does have the Spirit of Nature renewal out. Oh no, Laser Lord coming in for the spike, joined by Moves as well. Shadow Shooter's in a lot of trouble right now. Puma's little sister trying to get in here, drops the fire field with the combustive shot, hammers away, but you know, not able to get enough done here. They will force Red away though.
Yep, and as you can see again, Laser and Moop specifically should easily be able to take out Shadow Shooter, but again, for some reason, it's just not going so well for these guys at the moment. Vixie again, meanwhile, over here with a very nice cutoff onto Laser Lord as he tries to get over here towards the mansion. Unfortunately, Vixie's going to walk into a huge nest of members of Sharks, but still, the very nice cutoff regardless, that's going to put him on hindrance for the time being and just allow this blue team to fall back here and get their position strengthened.
So Sharks with Lasers has finally given up really for seriously taking on this middle point here. They've taken the side points. I think this is a smarter strategy because they were not able to really get in on this.
And they're actually doing surprisingly well at rotating for the side points here too. Laser Lord again here, the thief, just doing the job he needs to do. You could see him very quickly making his way over here, just as we saw Pumas and Vixie making their way too. Blue team's rotation to the windmill is not the best, to be completely honest here. Vixie was already having a tough time keeping himself alive, and to send two other guys from your team over to there when you know you're being followed by other members from your opponent's team just did not seem like the right formula to do. I don't know if they had any other options, granted, but I'm not sure if it was the correct thing to do. It will actually allow them to get Vixie back up just due to the chaos they caused to happen over here on the windmill itself, but once again, at the end of the day, they're still losing the fight that they ended up going for.
That's right. Now, this lead is slowly decreasing for the side of Carry Squad, man. All these kills that Sharks with Lasers are able to get, it's going to start adding up very, very soon. Now, I'm watching Rantev and Moobs over on the windmill. Rantev needs the heals off. Now, Moobs needs to come over and help his buddy out here, but Puma drops him into the downstate. Moves not able to get on the body, does not have Resolute Healer, and his buddy gets killed out there. They may actually lose this point because of that.
Moobs is actually in a very unfortunate spot here. Again, he's on bunker guard, so he can't do anything to kill Pumas. So again, Pumas will just be able to run completely away, and now we're just going to get thrown into a 3v1. Laser Lord's here. Laser Lord, though, not getting the spot on a Pumas for some reason, and now he's going to pay a big price for that, as again, Pumas will be able to just leap directly back into this fight. And that was actually a pretty big mistake by the members of Sharks, to be completely honest there.
Yeah, here comes the Ferox, and also I think this is Rantev off the respawn. And oh no, yeah, so Battle Standard came out there. Was that was trying to res Puma, I think. And,
no, that was I want to say that was Rantev.
Oh, no, that was
Rantev. Yeah, that was from Rantev. They got Moves back up into play. It actually just saved the team fight. If they didn't have that, team fight would have been all over, but that actually just completely changed the scope of it.
Looks like it's going to be exactly what they needed here. Fully capped up.
Meanwhile, though, back on mid, we still have Shadow Shooter having full control of that. And at the mansion, too, you can see at the moment here, it is looking like blue team almost has control of it. Baconmon in the downstate. Laser Lord going for a stealth stomp right now. No interrupt on that. Excellent stomp once more from Laser Lord. Takes out Polonium. And now as well, Vixie's going to be under pressure. Red team may just be able to save the fight here at mansion. And as of a few seconds ago, it looked like it was going to go to Carry Squad. But again, very, very quick rotations is going to allow them to flip that team fight directly back around in their favor. And to note this now as well, Sharks has the lead.
Yep. Exactly what I thought would happen happened with the quick switch to a side point strategy. You know, we haven't seen anyone really putting on that much pressure on Shadow Shooter, but there's enough fear on that Ranger to make them stay there. So they're really taking, like, you know, 3v2s, 4v3s when they could be having even numbers here.
They need to start moving him, to be completely honest here. You don't need to be,
right
and he is finally moving, but Hold on, immediately, we're going to see the members of Sharks try to lock him down. Good job leaving back onto the point there, but still, yeah. Him kind of just, you know, like camping out over here on mid is only good for so much. It's only allowed him to hold at one point. He's a very good part of the team fight, too. He has a lot of support. The Nature Spirit is an incredible utility if you can keep it in play, but you need to obviously be in those fights. With him being out of play, he's not going to be helping his team really at all. He needs to kind of find an avenue where he can sneak in and help out with that a little bit.
Yeah, they've let this lead, however, for Sharks and Lasers just get far too big with this amount of time left. You're 40 points away from victory. It's so hard to stop that roll.
Yeah, and as well, you can just see here that Sharks pretty much has the lockdown on the map, to be completely honest here. Blue team has been trying so hard for so long to try and find an opening to poke through here and get one of these side caps, but they have just been completely unable to do it here. Really good side node rotations here from Sharks. Excellent play, and they have definitely earned game 2 here. So with that said, in the third place match, we're going to have our first third game of the day here, as we're seeing Sharks and Lasers take game 2 to tie the set up at 1-1.
That's right. We're also seeing a quick Mesmer play also as we sort of just wrap this up here, and there it is. But it was Ferox who, the second he knocked his enemy on Mansion, the down state, popped that portal, went halfway across the map, and started running towards the windmill. So great stuff coming out of this team here immediately.
Indeed. All right, guys, so once again, Game 3 will be getting started in just a few minutes here. We are going to be heading to Temple, if I remember correctly, for that third and final game. Indeed, we're heading over to Temple, which means, again, the winner of that will be getting the third place prizing. The loser will go home with fourth place. And it's going to be interesting, as it's our first third game of the day. Everything has been a 2-0 today, but we finally got one. It's just kind of unfortunate it happened in the third place game, but still good we got one.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have a third place game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
Like, I mean, the precedent, you know, is there for now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna wait on these guys to jump in before they get ready here. But I'm really excited for two things here: to see who is gonna finally come back out on top. Sharks did an amazing job once they realized how to deal with the pressure from carry squad. The second thing that I'm really excited to do is go to Home Depot and get this banner up with some hooks and some nails.
It's okay, we're off the camera screen now. They can't see it anymore. They're only going to see it one more time today. It's okay. Anyway, we are now moving on to the temple, as we have said multiple times now. So with that said, this map is going to be fairly interesting because it's kind of really a toss-up to see who's going to take it here. Some interesting things to remember here when we last saw Sharks playing on it in their game versus Apex. They kind of had some issues here with the buffs and kind of over-committing to them. So with that said, they're going to have to be very careful of that sort of thing. Make sure that they don't fall into that pitfall again, especially because we have seen Carry Squad playing very efficiently on side node play. So if they're not watching out for that sort of thing, Sharks is, then they're easily going to get out-rotated here by Carry Squad and get 2-cap once more. But based on the last game, I do think Sharks can do that, the side cap strategy, and kind of contest that. It's just that based on history, they are going to have to kind of adapt their strategy a little bit better to play it on this map.
That's right. We're just waiting on now Shadow Shooter, man. Yeah, a lot of stuff in chat happening that needs to be fixed here. But personally, I really like this map. I love Temple's buffs. We've seen both of these teams play on this map, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, we saw the Apex versus Sharks with Lasers, where we saw the Trank being fought over for a very long time, and I think that Outplayed by Children played on this map as well, because they're both 2-0s. They definitely had to be. Refresh my memory really fast. How did that last one go?
The which game was that? Second, sorry.
The Outplayed by Children and Carry Squad match.
So the thing is this could be interesting too, is the fact that Carry Squad went for a far push at the start. They tried to go for like a full push on far, and it worked too.
Yeah,
I think versus this comp versus Sharks, if they try to do it, it'll work brilliantly. So to be completely honest, if we're kind of considering who's going to take the advantage here at the start of this game, my vote is swayed toward Carry Squad. I really think that they are going to get it, because I don't think that Sharks will be prepared for an ink on home if they try to do that same strategy again. Granted, there was a couple build differences on the side of Carry Squad when they were in that strat, but it should still work just as fine with what they have now.
Well, assuming that Carry Squad can get their 5th into this game, we will see if your predictions are correct. I actually tempted to agree, but I really like the way Sharks are playing, man. They're pretty good. They're pretty great.
Yep, like I said, it's definitely going to come down a lot to this map is very heavily on the rotations. I was talking to you a bit about this last night, where again, this game is a lot of fights that end very quickly and suddenly and change up who is fighting, where they're fighting, and how they're fighting, and it's constantly changing all over the map just due to the buffs, kind of almost acting as 4th and 5th points. The mid buff specifically, the side buffs again, those we don't really talk about those too much. But the top buff and the bottom buff will become huge focal points for fighting for a lot of this game. And because of that, it causes this game to become extremely split up, extremely sporadic, extremely chaotic. So teams need to be extremely communicative. They need to be talking to each other constantly and make sure they keep their strategy under control, or they'll very quickly get overwhelmed with the amount of objectives they'll have to deal with.
Yeah, and with the objectives on this map being so important to the way everything is played, it's going to be incredibly crucial that these teams are on top of their buff management. So we are actually waiting on the Ranger from Team Carry Squad right now. We're waiting on oh, he's actually in.
There we go. All right, cool. So he's back now. We should get started in just a second then. He was AFK for some reason, so I believe, however, he is back now. So with that said, we'll get started. Some interesting thing to note too, I think, that Sharks may have an issue with is that they were, I don't know if it was like a communicative thing, but they were missing a lot of the buff timers last time too. I mean, that's a pretty easy issue to solve, but just got to be a lot more careful of that this time, as in their game versus Apex, they really struggled to have players at those buffs at the appropriate times.
Yeah, and with that being the case, do you think that they will have noticed that, like, between games here? We may see that Sharks with Lasers will...
I think that on this map, it's going to be a lot smaller of an issue. I don't think that they're going to have as much of an issue properly rotating to the buffs. The issue was on the game versus Apex, is that they were constantly under pressure and being out-rotated by Apex, and I don't think that that'll happen as aggressively in this matchup. It's definitely still going to happen a little bit. Something similar, I think, will happen with Apex's splits compared to the way the Carry Squad, I think, is going to split here. But based on just in general the team's reputations and the teams in general, I think that they'll be able to handle the situation a lot better, because it won't be as much pressure.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
All right, so it looks like we're about to start out. Let's check the splits out, Blue.
Alright, once again, opening up our map to see here. We're going to be seeing Rantev from Sharks with Lasers heading over to the temple. He'll be taking that. But you've also got Ferox as well as Laserlord, a very bursty combination heading through. And oh, we are in dangerous territory here. Blue team comes out of the wing. We're going to see Puma's getting locked down. Unfortunately, not the best target choice, however, as he's the tankiest one they could have picked. So with that said, we are going to see a small skirmish happening just outside of the red team home node. But at the same time, you're also going to be having Vixie getting on node to fight Rantev. Other than that, though, it looks like we have what's going to be a 2v1 for the blue team on mid. And Polonium will end up going down back over here towards the temple.
Right. In the temple here, we're going to see Vixie and Puma just trying to get on point, trying to get the pressure they need here. But with Rantev on point, with the Ferox around here, they're just not able to do the work that they need. And it also frees up Lord and moves to rotate. Moves heading towards the middle here. And Lord's trying to get sneaky. He's trying to get onto Altar and be aggressive.
And Lord, again, it's going to be very close in this decap, but if Shadow Shooter gets on node, he can actually win this 1v1, in my opinion. Once again here, Shadow Shooter is very reliant on those dodges to get himself out of there, but as it would seem, it actually looks like Lord does not want to fight that one, so he's going to peace out and head back over towards mid, where we still got a pretty big fight going on.
Yeah, and I think that this fight's going to be continuing for a very long time here. I'm watching Ferox now try and push on Vixie.
Lord actually trying to lock down Vixie here at the moment as well, and has done a very good job of that. This might have been the reason why they had him come back, because again, Vixie I think screwed up a little bit there, got hit by some damage, and there was a call out. Alright, his cooldown's been used, come here and kill him. Now again, with him going down, with him out of play, on this map specifically, it's going to be a huge hindrance to Carry Squad, so they are going to want to try their best to get him back up. Unfortunately, however, a lot of their guys are up top here, Laserlord and Ferox specifically, and they've not only managed to lock down Vixie in the downstate, but Polonium too here. So Sharks is going to take a big push now with a lot of these guys being off the map.
Yeah, and with this 2-cap lead here, I think that Sharks with Lasers are going to be able to really, do what they did last time, and I think we may see another chokehold situation onto Carry Squad.
And you can see that already. They are starting to try and formulate that chokehold over here. You've got Ferox pushing in over here towards the blue team spawn zone. With their guys coming out, they're kind of being funneled over here towards their own home node that they still have control over so that they can keep control over. Baconmon's on the node here at the moment. Sly and Puma are trying their best to hold on to it here, and Baconmon's just kind of a distraction, but still, you can definitely see that Sharks is really trying their best to kind of corral the blue team into a point where they can control their movements.
And I mean, that's exactly what even on the minute scale, Shadow Shooter being forced into corners now against Rantev and Ferox. And he's taking just a ton of tons of damage when he tries to get onto the point here. He will be dropped very shortly. There he goes into the down state.
Blue team will have to be a little bit careful here. And actually, I think based on what we're seeing now, blue team may have a pretty big up when it comes to the buffs here, because I think we're going to see Sharks spread out pretty thinly at the moment. You've got a 2-player push coming in from Carry Squad onto the Temple, and with only Lazerlord defending that, someone else is going to have to come over there that would have otherwise gone for the buff. Moves as well is rotating over there. They have full control of mid, but at the same time, Shadow Shooter as well as at least one of the members of the blue team I think are available towards home here. So I think the Necro might actually get a pretty easy ticket towards getting this buff. So at the very least, they'll force moves to redirect over there, which will give, in my opinion, Carry Squad a little bit of an advantage over here at the Temple fight.
That's right. And I think that Carry Squad is actually in a really good position. But assuming that like they retake their point here, which is a big... Oh no, Vixie taking tons upon tons of damage. 10 seconds till his heal comes out. Will he be able to survive?
2 stacks of confusion. If he uses one ability, he's dead here at the moment. No, Joe just manages to cleanse that, thankfully. And Vixie, teetering on the edge there, just manages to keep himself alive. But he's definitely going to be in some trouble. Good burst comes off onto Lazerlord, though, manages to take that out, but he needs to get the heck out of here. And yep, there you go. He's going to fall. But I think he might be all right, though. Sly, to be honest here, Sly can get a clutch Evis off onto Lazerlord if he wants to, or not on the Lazerlord, on the Ferox. That might end that fight right there, but it's going to be close. Res race.
Sly's going to go down. Sly is definitely going to take the down safe here. And then, we're going to see Lazerlord able to just kill. Assuming they don't both gang up on the... Ooh.
No. Lord's got the res on the Ferox. It's all good. So they're going to get him up, and then everything should be well. Sly will try his best to vengeance, but again, with Lazerlord and Ferox both having that kind of burst, there's no way that Sly will be able to get that res off. Mid buff is still up in play, though. Almost over a minute after it has initially spawned. And there's actually no one on it at the moment here. Not a single player.
Rantev.
And with this said, Rantev will try to take an advantage on that. We do have Polonium going to try to stop it, but he's not going to be able to get in range in time. And there you go, 4-cap will now be held for Sharks.
Just like that.
I think this is it, man. Like,
the bells are definitely tolling, I can tell you that much.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you cap the buff, but also
the bottom buff, not the top buff.
Well, yeah, that's true. But anyway. Listen, man. Listen, don't rain on my parade, buddy. We're gonna get through this, Blue. We've got this. Because look, check this out. With a 4-cap this way, and look where blue team is positioned right now. They're not anywhere really near it. Vixie can attempt to get on a point, but he'll be immediately shut down. Whereas the Shadow Shooters try and get on the Temple. And it's not going to be as effective as I think they're trying to hope it is. Rantev is also immediately on point. Vixie now is going to start decapping. Rantev jumps immediately on the point and will immediately start taking on the Rantev. Gets the Evis off as well. There's tons and tons upon tons of damage on Vixie. But Shadow Shooter stealthed it up and got able to go over to Temple, but he was eventually outpositioned by Ferox and moves now, Blue.
Shadow Shooter is not going to be able to do really anything here, unfortunately. He's just going to be playing a race to keep himself up and alive. You can even see the spirit being pulled out. And even, this is, to be completely honest, Shadows is just wasting his time here. He doesn't even have a decap. There's no reason for him to be here, but he really can't leave either, just due to the fact that Ferox will DPS him down. So if he can find a route to escape, he needs to take it, but him being here was really a complete waste of time.
Yep. And, I mean, the way he was built earlier with Sikkim and with all that would have been really great for what he was doing now, like taking those single engagements. But he's got to stay closer to his teammates, man.
The other thing to keep in mind is if he had run that build with Sikkim and whatnot, is that he would have left himself a lot squishier because he wouldn't have the Signet of the Beastmaster's passive regen. So that's another thing to consider too, is he wouldn't be able to hold off longer scenarios, which I think was kind of the main goal of switching to that build.
It looked like Moves was going to get stillness through all of that, and Trank definitely capped by Baconmon at this. Shadow Shooter just not going to be able to grab stillness. Going to be just hit tons upon tons of times. And here it is, the final seconds as 100 points, or 90 points now, are left on the board. Polonium is dead in the middle. Red team will recap the middle point as well. And I think even without stillness, I mean, there's no coming back for Carry Squad.
Yeah, unfortunately, Carry Squad has been trying so hard this game to try and out-rotate. They've been trying so hard to find some kind of avenue where they could take an advantage. Just that, again, time after time after time, we saw Sharks taking these team fights left and right. And unfortunately, that has all stacked up towards the end of this game. So as we get to the closing minutes, I think it's pretty safe to call it now for Sharks. And with that said, they should be taking this game, and which will give them 3rd place prizing in this qualifier and give Carry Squad 4th place.
Yeah, that's going to be a victory for Sharks with Lasers now. I would not be surprised to see GG before the end of the game here. But let's just recap what we've seen so far today as we wait for this to tick down. We saw our qualifying teams, Apex Prime and Outplayed by Children, take on the teams you're seeing right now. Apex Prime had not lost a single game all of the tournament. Neither did Outplayed by Children, if I'm not mistaken. So they both have pretty much perfect records. Sergeant Lasers played WoW with that to be like our first match, and that was a really great series. So some interesting Mesmer play there as well. And our Carry Squad, they first took on All Your Base Belong to Us and 2-0'd them as well.
Alright guys, and here we go. There's the end of the game, so congrats to Sharks. They're going to get 3rd place, and as for Carry Squad, they're taking home 4th. And that'll be the end of our last set for today, guys. So once again, you have seen it. I think to be completely honest, things went pretty much as people predicted today. There wasn't really any surprises or anything like that. We saw our 1st and 2nd seeds go onward to the grand finals, so nothing too crazy today, but I mean, generally from the qualifiers, it's what we would expect.
Yeah. A lot of these names, I'm really glad that with the turnout that we saw today, honestly. We saw Gasm lose to Memento Mori in round 2, which was a complete surprise, actually. And that was probably the biggest upset of the tournament.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I think, so there's not a lot of, so here's the thing. In the qualifiers, there's not too many, like, upsets, per se. I do think that Gasm was expected to go a lot farther. At least one more round further. Personally, I was expecting Gasm to see go a little bit further, but I wouldn't say it was like an upset or anything. Like, you know, it's not like Apex lost in the qualifying round or something. So with that said, I believe that is pretty much it, guys. But keep in mind, we still have one more full weekend of qualifiers coming up next weekend. Once again, we have our last qualifying weekend, which is going to be Q4. The European stream will be happening on Saturday, same time as yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and 21 CEST. Same thing for the North American qualifier number 4 on Sunday. Same thing as today at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 21 CEST. As for the teams that still have to play in that qualifier, please keep your eye on your email inbox, as we will be sending you some information, hopefully within the next day or two, as well as releasing the brackets as well.
That's right. So be sure to check out that stuff. Of course, if you viewers enjoyed today's broadcast, stick around for next weekend. Also catch our Misspedia weeklies. We've got the 5v5 and the 2v2s going on as well. Blue, why don't you go ahead and let them know the information about that?
About the weeklies, correct?
Yes.
Alright guys, once again, when the weeklies are happening every Tuesday, so the 2v2 weekly that's hosted by ESL starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, 20 CEST right here on this channel, and the North American Misspedia weekly 2-on-2 starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thursday is Conquest Day, the ESL weekly Conquest Cup, same time as the 2v2 Cup, 2 p.m. Eastern, 20 CEST, and the Misspedia weekly Cup starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Remember, both of those on Thursday, and both streams hosted right here. Both of those cups are open signups as well, so if you're interested in finding more info on that, head over to the PvP events sub-forum, and you can find all the info you need on that.
Of course, guys, don't forget to follow both of us on Twitter. He's at Dr_Blue. I'm at MLG Check out at Misspedia, and be sure to go to facebook.com/Misspedia.
Alright guys, and I believe that is pretty much it for today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Keep in mind, we still got one more llama that we're giving away in the chat as we end the stream, so thank you all very much for tuning in. And if you cannot join us for any other events happening throughout the week, we hope you will join us next weekend at ToL Qualifier number 4. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you later.